Hi guys, and welcome back to another episode of our Pokemon Battle Series, the School of Hard Knocks. So throughout this episode, like every other, we'll be jumping on to the Pokemon Global Link Battle Spot ladder, playing under the Championship Battle rules, which are the equivalent rule set of the VGC 2017 season. So, it is Monday, we're kicking off the weekend, and over this past weekend, as everyone knows, we have just witnessed the World Championship. So, guys, first of all, let me know in the comment section below if you did watch it, what you thought of it. It was amazing. Massive, big congratulations to both finalists, Sam and Ryota. Ryota actually just squeezing out a win there. It was such a close final. It was probably one of the best finals I've probably watched in all of my time watching the World Championships over the years. It was just such an exciting final, and massive props to both players there. Yeah, I don't know what else to say. I was just enthralled by the whole matchup, and watching both of those players kind of have their runs through Worlds the whole weekend, it was just incredible. So it was just a great Worlds altogether. I think we had some brilliant matches, some really interesting teams come out of the World Championships as well this weekend, and you may have noticed as well, so we are changing up our team for this week on the channel. As you can probably see on the channel artwork here, down below over here, we've got what is a very similar team to what Sam ran in the World Championships this past weekend and finished second with. So, basically, before I recorded this episode, I got in touch with Sam and I asked him, I said, obviously congratulations and all that, but I said, do you mind if I didn't want to just run his team on the channel without running it by him first. You know, he's created it, he might have other plans for it and things like that. So I just wanted to make sure with him, just out of respect really, to make sure he didn't mind that we could play on the channel for you guys to see. Sam, being such a nice guy that he is, actually give me the pace bin of the team. So this team that I've got in today's episode, it isn't the identical team. It's EVs. The EV spreads are the only thing that are a little bit different. So in tomorrow's episode, I'll re-EV everything as Sam has in his team. I mean, the movesets, the EV spreads, everything like that the movesets and the natures are all identical to what Sam had originally anyway, but the EV spreads aren't identical. So what we'll do is this evening I'll re-EV everything, so for the rest of the week we'll have the exact same team that Sam ran, and just a massive shout out to Sam for providing us with that information, because it's going to be hopefully really good viewing for you guys. So hopefully we find some good opponents today and we can get into the action with this really exciting team, because it's so offensively, it's got such an offensive presence once it starts setting up. And you know, you've got the two modes of setup on the team with that Aurora Veil, Intimidate support as well. And once one thing kind of starts taking attention, it goes down, the other thing's already there and it's kind of ready to roll. So it's going to be a lot of fun to play. We haven't really played Xurkitree on the channel either this year, so it's a lot of fun and really exciting to kind of play that as well. Also, the final kind of finished article of the Hard Trick Room team that we had on Friday's episode last week, I have got a QR code for that team and it is in the description below if you guys want to go and try that out for yourselves. So let me know if you do. But we have our first opponent of the day, Kays, and they are running a team of Garchomp, Tapu Koko, Arcanine, Kartana, Porygon 2 and Gigalith. So how are we going to approach this? Now the Aurora Veil here is obviously quite threatened. Aurora Veil, as we saw Sam kind of pilot the team through the past weekend, was quite a pivotal move for the team. But the Gigalith here kind of throws up a lot of issues with getting that off, because you can just bring in the Sandstorm. If the Gigalith's out in the Ninetales is out in the field, and it stops the move from actually getting up. So we might need to go down another route here rather than relying on that. Garchomp's going to be really strong here, I think, as well as Xurkitree as well. We just need to make sure we're protecting it right. I think maybe, we go Mandibuzz, because the taunt is nice. Could go Lele. We could go Garchomp here as well, because I kind of expect maybe the Gigalith to come out. Maybe the Gigalith probably stays in the back though, to be honest. We could lead Lele, Mandibuzz, and Garchomp. and Xurkitree maybe. We kind of probably need Arcanine because the Cortana could be a bit of an issue without it. But we're running out of time, and before we do that, we'll just bring the Xurkitree. So we'll see how we're getting on in this first game. I haven't really had too many games with this team. I had 2 games before last night after I kind of put the team together. So we'll see how we get on. It's going to be kind of baby steps playing with it, but it's going to be a lot of fun, you know. And I'm sure Sam will be doing a report at some point on the team in general, so when that is up and posted, I will link that in the description whenever that is, so you guys can have a read of that. So I will let you know when and as that comes out. So we see my opponent here lead off with the Tapu Koko and the Garchomp. We lead off with our Mandibuzz and our Lele. We do activate that Psychic Seed on the Mandibuzz, so we will be able to take those special type electric attacks a little bit better here. I think here we just go for a Tailwind, and do we worry about the Garchomp? It's probably got Tectonic Rage, right? But does it waste it now? Because we could see a Swords Dance come out here, but I don't really mind that too much. I think that the Tapu Koko probably Volt Switches into the Mandibuzz, you've got to imagine. The Garchomp might just Rock Slide, which could give us the opportunity to go for a Calm Mind if we want to, but is that huge threat of the Tectonic Rage coming out, so I think we're probably better off just going a bit safer here, going for that Protect. So we see the Garchomp actually switch out, Porygon 2 hit the field, and yeah, we probably see that the Tapu Koko go for that Volt Switch into the Mandibuzz, maybe see the Gigalith actually come in now. But we see a Discharge. Okay. But with that special defensive boost that we've got on Mandibuzz, we're going to be able to take that a lot better than we would have normally. Porygon 2 unfortunately gets paralysed here. We avoid the paralysis, get the Tailwind up. So we're in a nice position now to kind of, well, go for, you know, I think we need to go for a Taunt onto the P2 regardless to stop any potential Trick Rooms coming out. We could just Psy-Shock the Tapu Koko slot, and I think I'll just do that just to get some damage onto it. I don't expect it to pick up the KO, but we just see the Tapu Koko Protect here. I guess the P2 is just going for that Trick Room, but we will be able to stop it with the Taunt. So there again, we could have went for a Calm Mind. We see the P2 going for that Taunt. Now it is locked in to her. So we could double up into the Koko here with a Foul Play and a Psy-Shock, because there's every chance that the Gigalith could come in on this slot. We'll probably get more out of our turn going for that. We could go for a Foul Play and a Calm Mind, or we could go for a Roost with Mandibuzz to reduce the attack power of those electric types even further, but I kind of feel like the Koko switches out here, to be honest. So I'm more tempted to go for a Foul Play and a Psy-Shock into that slot. No switch out. Okay, so we did get the Psy-Shock, if I can speak, onto the Koko. Still outspeeding Mandibuzz in a Tailwind, so is that okay. But the Koko goes down to Life Orb. And as I say, these aren't Sam spreads, so we can't really rely on them too heavily as they would operate in an actual battle, because I'm sure Sam spreads are a bit different. And like I say, in tomorrow's episode, we'll if I can even speak today, what's wrong with me? We'll re-EV everything and make sure that we're kind of approaching it with a better light. So that Discharge has paralysed that Tapu Lele, which has made it a bit awkward for us going into this next turn, because we're not going to be outspeeding the Garchomp anymore, but we might be better off just going for the Garchomp's probably going to go for a Tech Rage now, right? But I don't really have anything to switch in for that slot, so I think we just go for a Moonblast into the Garchomp slot regardless. Roost with our Mandibuzz. Hope we don't see an Earthquake come out. I can't imagine we will see an Earthquake coming out. See the P2 withdraw, and we see the Gigalith at the field. So yeah, I wouldn't have thought on Earthquake. We're more likely to see a Tectonic Rage or maybe a Sword Stance come out from the Garchomp. But the Garchomp just protects. Okay. And we do get a Roost off with Mandibuzz. And we are fully paralyzed. And the Tailwind Pit is out. So, probably better off going for another Tailwind here. Although, from not seeing the Tectonic Rage from the Garchomp, I wonder if the Gigalith's got the Rocky MZ. It might be better off bringing in our own Garchomp in this slot, saving Mandibuzz for later on, and just going for that Moonblast into Garchomp, get some damage off onto it. If we can get a Moonblast onto it, then it's going to be an Earthquake range from our own Garchomp. And there's a Tech Rage. So this will be into the Tapu Lele, we've got to imagine. We'll probably see a Rock Slide or a Stone Edge come out from the Gigalith now. Yeah. Which is a bit unfortunate, we will lose Lele. That Paralysis was a bit unfortunate, but you know, Discharge has a really high chance. We could have switched the Garchomp in a bit earlier. And there's a Stone Edge from Gigalith. A Garchomp able to take that more comfortably than anything else on the team. So we can bring in Mandibuzz now. I think this turn what we do is just go for the Tech Rage into the Gigalith. I wonder if... Oh, we could Sword Stance. The problem is if the opposing Garchomp has Dragon Claw, that could be a bit awkward. So we could just Protect and Tailwind and just get the Tailwind up and scout up for potential Dragon Claw. But we just see the Garchomp withdraw, see the P2 come in. Now this is alright, to be honest, because you know, if we lose Mandibuzz here to a Stone Edge, which we're likely to, then it just gives us a free switch into... Oh, okay, so the Gigalith protects. I feel like we just go for the Tech Rage into the P2 here, because that's the thing that could have Ice Beam and scupper our plans slightly. So we'll go for the Tech Rage, stop that Trick Room getting set up, and could technically go for a Roost with our Mandibuzz, which would reduce the attack damage of the Stone Edge, which might not be a bad idea, because then when the opposing Garchomp comes in, then we can hit it with a Foul Play. We should be able to survive a Stone Edge once we've taken away that flying type. So we will launch that big Tectonic Rage into the Porygon 2. Hopefully this is enough to take it out. You would imagine from the range that it's in, it should be. We've not been intimidated. And yeah, that is enough. Ah, well, we get a critical hit. I'm not too sure if that really mattered too much. And thanks to that chip sand damage, we are able to get a Roost off, which does ground us for this turn, and the Stone Edge coming out, but Mandibuzz avoids it, so we get super lucky there, which is really unfortunate for my opponent. Okay, we're back to that same position. I think we just go for Earthquake, and we go for a Foul Play into the Garchomp. And my opponent just forfeits. So good game to my opponent. We got a bit lucky with that Stone Edge miss there, but I don't think it would have made too much difference. You know, with the Roost taking away the flying type on Mandibuzz that turn, it wouldn't have KO'd us. So we still had it around on the field, pending any mad critical hits the next turn. So we'll go on to game 2 and see how we get on. Oh, and as well, guys, so this week is a bit of a weird week for myself. I've got my parents actually coming to visit me this week on Wednesday. So they're coming for Wednesday over the weekend. So I'm going to be pretty tied up seeing them, because they live like hundreds of miles away from me, so I don't see them too often. Unfortunately, this week's live stream on Thursday I'm going to have to cancel, but we will pick up a live stream next week, so we might do 2 next week. We might do one on Tuesday and one on Thursday, but we'll see how it goes. But I'm going to try and get content out every day. We're probably going to have a best of 3 battler as well, and we'll have definitely a School of Hard Knocks every day. And then going into next week, we'll look at our Battle Spot Doubles team as well, because we need to change that up going forward. So we have our next opponent of the day, Japanese player, and they are running a team of Celesteela, Garchomp, Gastrodon, Arcanine, Tapu Koko, and Mimikyu. So we've probably got a Trick Room mode on the team with the Mimikyu, the Gastrodon. You would imagine Celesteela is going to be a bit awkward, but we do have the Koko that's going to boost our Xurkitree. We've got to be a bit careful of the Gastrodon and the Garchomp, you know, both being able to throw out ground type attacks. They could threaten our Xurkitree. Arcanine as well can cycle Intimidate, but we don't need to worry about that too much, I don't think. So what are we going to do here? I think definitely lead off with Ninetales. We could lead Ninetales Xurkitree here, to be honest. Bring... Do we want Arcanine? Arcanine's probably quite nice to bring as well, just for the Intimidate and just to have a bit more fire power against the Celesteela. And let's bring... Garchomp as well. So we've got a nice switch in for anything Tapu Koko throws out at us. So yes. So yeah, Battle Spot Doubles team, like I was saying, that is something that we're going to look at changing up completely, because we've played a lot of games with the team that we created a few weeks ago now, as a live stream together. So we'll maybe look at doing another live stream, build another team together like that, because that was a lot of fun, and I think a lot of you enjoyed it as well. So that would be great if we could do that. So we do see my opponent lead off with Mimikyu and Arcanine. I wonder if the Mimikyu is going to go for a Trick Room here. Gotta imagine they might do. We could see a roll from the Arcanine potentially come out. I think I still want to go for an Aurora Veil, and I might just go for... do we go for... Could go for a Tail Claw here, or we could just go for an attack to break the disguise on the Mimikyu. We'll go for a Tail Claw. We'll go for it with the Aurora Veil up. So there's your Aurora Veil. Do get that up, which is nice. And we do get the Tail Claw up, so maybe a Trick Room is coming out. See a Flare Blitz from the Arcanine. This will probably be into the Ninetales, you've got to imagine. It's into the Xurkitree. Okay. And there's a Trick Room. Okay. So I think this next turn, what I'm going to do is just go for a Disable onto the Arcanine. Try and disable that Flare Blitz, and I'm going to protect the Xurkitree. I'll also burn a turn of Trick Room, but then if I can disable the Flare Blitz, it's going to make going forward a bit easier. So let's hope my opponent actually targets into the Xurkitree this turn. As I play Rough, doubling in, and Flare Blitz doubling in, so that's great. We did get the disable onto the Arcanine. And you know, most of the time Arcanines only tend to carry a couple of attacks, so you probably see maybe Extreme Speed and Flare Blitz. You might see Wild Charge as well. But this next turn, what we'll do, we'll bring in Arcanine, we'll preserve Ninetales for later in the game, and we'll just start firing off some Thunderbolts. I'm going to fire one into... yeah, fire one into the Arcanine here. The other thing that we could have done was maybe Dazzling Gleam just to break the... yeah, see, we should have went for the Dazzling Gleam there, and that would have broke the disguise on the Mimikyu there. So we do get the Arcanine in. We are going to get an Intimidate off onto the Mimikyu more importantly. We see Play Rough come out. Hopefully this just activates our berry, which it does. So we will restore a nice chunk of health there. Go for that Thunderbolt, but it is doing nothing, which is a bit unfortunate. Right, okay. We need to break the sash on this, the disguise on this Mimikyu. That's going to be massively helpful if we can do that. I think I just go for a Bulldoze with Arcanine. Arcanine should be able to take a combination of 2 attacks from my opponents here, but I think my opponent still has to kind of focus down on the Xurkitree at this point. Do you see the Mimikyu switch out? You see the Arcanine come back in. So that Mimikyu preserving its sash for later on in the game. Might see this Gastrodon just attack into the Arcanine, expecting to protect onto the Xurkitree here. You see a Scald into that Xurkitree. So my opponent really kind of prioritising the Xurkitree here. We do get a Bulldoze off, which in a Trick Room isn't really doing us any favours, but we kind of had to go for it because, you know, the Trick Room will be ending at some point. And when it does, that kind of puts the game in our favour, but until then we're kind of helping out our opponent. But we kind of wanted to prioritise breaking the disguise on that Mimikyu that last turn. So how many turns of Trick Room we've got? We've got 1 turn left. I feel like we go down to a combination of attacks from Gastrodon on Arcanine here, which is not ideal. Protect Arcanine. What have I got to bring in? Could bring in Garchomp, but there's every chance that we just get we get burnt on the Scald switch in. I think I just go for Helping Hand. Dazzle if I can lock it in. Hopefully I can. Hopefully I lock it in. We'll probably lose Xurkitree here though. But I think it's going to be better than switching out everything. Arcanine should be pretty safe on our end of the field this turn because my opponent is going to prioritise getting rid of this Xurkitree. This Flare Blitz is going to be super close, I think, but it's probably going to be enough. I'm probably going to lose Xurk. Yeah. But the Trick Room does end here. And we have got our Garchomp to come in. But we do need to be a bit careful of a potential Ice Beam from this Gastrodon. And there's also the potential that my opponent could pull a switch into the Celesteela. Suppose my opponent really brought the Celesteela here. I don't know if they would have done. I think maybe Garchomp's more likely than Celesteela. Because we could go for a Swords Dance. Let's switch out Arcanine into Ninetales. We'll try and get an Aurora Veil up, and we'll just scout out what my opponent's going to do here. So you might see the Celesteela come in, and they don't really want to waste the Tech Rage after we've not really got any mileage out of Xurkitree at all here. So there's the Gastrodon switch, and in comes Mimikyu. And that's the other thing I should have really mentioned as well. You know, the Mimikyu's disguise hadn't been broken to this point, so we see a Will-O-Wisp from the Arcanine. So hopefully that Arcanine's Berry doesn't proc. No, but it should be in Rock Slide range. So we'll just go for the Aurora Veil, and I will go for a Rock Slide. And that will break the disguise on this Mimikyu and should hopefully take this Arcanine down with it as well. But we see the Arcanine switch out. Going to see the Gastrodon come back onto the field. We're probably going to see... so the Mimikyu goes for a Protect here. Okay. Oh, the Aurora Veil hasn't run out on our end yet. So that was a bit awkward. Should we pay more attention? The Aurora Veil ends this turn, I think. Oh no, because we've got Light Clay, of course. What am I doing? What am I doing? Indeed, you may ask. I think we go for an Icy Wind and just go for a Tech Rage into the Gastrodon slot. And there's the Mimikyu withdrawing. So the Arcanine coming in. I wonder on -1 if we're going to be able to take down the Gastrodon. I don't know if we're going to be able to. We should be able to take an Ice Beam though from Gastrodon. This Tech Rage is going to be super close. And no Berry proccing on the Arcanine, so it must be close. I think the Hail will probably proc at this next turn. So due to get the Tech Rage off, I wonder, it depends how bulky this Gastrodon is. You know, it might be able to take it, but at the same time, it might be low enough for us to pick up the KO, which would be nice. Is enough. Okay, so that's good. Does the Aurora Veil end this turn? I'm pretty sure it will. And there's the Berry proccing on the Arcanine. We've got to remember that this Arcanine does have Will-O-Wisp as well. And there's the Aurora Veil failing, so... And there's the Garchomp from my opponent coming in. So, do we go for the Aurora Veil? Yeah, I feel like we go for the Aurora Veil and bring in Arcanine here. Because I think Garchomp's going to be a big key to kind of helping us win the game here. We know what my opponent's got that they brought to the battle, so we don't want Garchomp to get burned. If we can get it into a position where we can get the Swords Dance up, it's going to be really pivotal for us to kind of close out this game. I think so. There's an Iron Head coming out from Garchomp. It's Scarf Garchomp. We do survive that, hopefully no flinch, so that's really good. We do get the Aurora Veil up. It's going to help us massively now. Flinch there would have been terrible. And we see a Will-O-Wisp into that Arcanine slot, which isn't ideal. Right, okay. We know that Garchomp's locked into Iron Head though now. So we can... I'm going to disable the Arcanine, and I'm going to bring in Garchomp on my Arcanine slot. We might see the Garchomp withdraw here, but we might just see it just go for an Iron Head onto the Ninetales as well. But yeah, we see it actually withdraw, so that's great for us. So we are going to be able to disable the Will-O-Wisp. So when our Garchomp comes back in, it's not going to be threatened by the burn, which is nice. Or not. Oh, but we do survive. Okay, so that's great. So that Intimidate and the Aurora Veil coming in massively helpful. But unfortunately, we disabled the wrong move, which isn't ideal. So let's bring in Arcanine for Ninetales here. Let's go for a Sword. Do we go for a Sword Stance or not? Is this the time to go for a Sword Stance? So we just Earthquake. We can't really just Earthquake either. And we might see a Trick Room come out, but I doubt we will. I think we Sword Stance here. We'll probably see a Will-O-Wisp come out, but we kind of nullify the Will-O-Wisp. My opponent might think that I'm going to switch the Garchomp out again, so I might not go for the Will-O-Wisp into the Garchomp slot, and if he doesn't, then that's amazing for us. Yeah, so the Garchomp actually withdraws. Opposing Garchomp comes in, and we'll see Shadow Sneak into that Ninetales slot, and we get a Sword Stance up, which is huge for us. So now I'm going to protect our Garchomp, go for a Bulldoze with Arcanine, because we still have the Aurora Veil up, so we should be able to take an Earthquake from this opposing Garchomp and get a Bulldoze off, and that's going to be massive, because if we get it onto the Mimikyu as well, it breaks the disguise, so we can just Earthquake our hearts out this next turn. We do see a Dragon Claw come out from the opposing Garchomp, and we get a Bulldoze off onto both targets, which is huge. And we'll see this Mimikyu, what's it going to go for? Just to play rough into Garchomp. Okay. So we might see, one of the things we might see is the opposing Garchomp switch out into Arcanine, or the Mimikyu switch out into Arcanine. I'm going to bring in, yeah, because I still think the Intimidate is going to be quite handy later in the game. So I'll bring in Ninetales, sacrifice it, and I'm just going to go for an Earthquake with my Garchomp. And hope we don't see a switch on my opponent's side, and hope that the +2 Earthquake is going to be enough to take down the opposing Garchomp. Because we should be outspeeding it now. No, it's Jolly. So it's Jolly max speed, so we don't outspeed it. But we do take the Dragon Claw. We've got to think the +2 Earthquake takes down the Mimikyu. Yeah, it takes down everything, so that's great. And we should be close enough now to kind of finish off the Arcanine with just the Garchomp. We do know it has extreme speed, but we still got the Aurora Veil up, and we're going to be able to get an Intimidate onto the opposing Arcanine as well. Opposing Arcanine does go get an Intimidate off onto us. I wonder if my opponent kind of wants to kind of, because we've got, if we want to go for an Earthquake, which would pick up the KO, we have to go for a Protect with our Arcanine. So I wonder if my opponent wants to protect their Arcanine this turn, to kind of match, so it doesn't get the Earthquake, so it kind of locks us out of being able to Earthquake next turn. So this turn I'm just gonna kind of bait into that play and Helping Hand Rock Slide, which might be enough if we don't see my opponent protect, but they don't, and they just forfeit. So we do pick up another win. So we've had a couple of good games with the team today. That one a little bit longer. I'm going to kind of wrap things up now, but it's been really nice kind of having a kind of just easing into this team a little bit. As the week goes on, we'll obviously be able to kind of really kind of open it up and hopefully get to play around with the team properly, unleash the Xurkitree, get those teal glows going. You know, we did attempt it in that last match, but we didn't quite get it. But you can see the pressure that it kind of puts on your opponent. They kind of force the target down that slot, which gives you the openings to bring in other Pokemon and like Garchomp and set up with that, and that's the beauty of the team, you know. While you're distracting them with something, you bring in something else, which is your end game, and that's what I really love about the team. And it's really innovative as Sam's put it together like that. It's very smart, and it's going to be a lot of fun playing the team. So let me know what you guys think of the team. Obviously we'll be playing Sam's actual team tomorrow with the EVs that he has provided us with, so just again a massive shout out to Sam for that, and it's going to be a lot of fun. So hopefully you guys will enjoy it this week. I think it's one of the more fun teams that we've seen from the weekend. Obviously Ryota's team was amazing, you know. It had the Marowak and the Crocodile in there, which was just incredible to see Marowak take worlds. But I think I prefer Sam's team. I just think the concepts that he's got in there, the move choices, the EV spreads and everything like that are just really unique and kind of come together to make a really kind of complex team that works very well. So I'm looking forward to playing the rest of the week. So do tune in tomorrow, because we will have another episode of the Skull Hard Knocks tomorrow, and we'll be playing the actual version of it. Do let me know what you think about I just want to hear everything. I want to hear how you found Worlds this past weekend, what your highlights were from the event, teams, players, etc, and what you think of the team and the episode today as well. What you think, how it went. If you've enjoyed the video, as always guys, please leave a like. It does help the video out massively. If you're new to the channel, do hit the subscribe button so you don't miss any of the daily updates for when our School of Hard Knocks comes out, our Battle Spot Double Series. We've got our best of 3 battler, and everything else in between. So we have a Twitch live stream that we started a couple of weeks ago that we do once a week on a Thursday. We won't be doing unfortunately this week, but we will pick up next week when we get back on that. So it's a lot of fun, a lot of stuff going on the channel, and if there's anything you ever want to see on the channel, just let me know, because you know I'm quite happy to showcase anything that you guys want to see. So we'll wrap things up there, guys, and not drag things on any longer. Thank you so much for tuning in. As always, it's always a pleasure, great time, and I look forward to hearing what you guys have to say about today's episode. So until tomorrow guys, take care of yourselves, have a great evening, afternoon, morning, whatever time of day it is you're watching this, and I will see you all tomorrow. So until then, bye bye.